Bonannos overall have just been a poorly led group. Perfect example of leadership. But where the Bonannos, where I kind of get a little fuzzy is, and it was Josie's, I think Josie's son, he made like 25 guys or whatever. But there's actually not as much information on the Bonannos head count. And I'll tell you why. If you ask like different sources, credible sources, some have it at 120, some have it at 200, right? Now, there's 25 guys, some people may count them, some people don't. So that's one reason for the delta of 75, right? But the second is when they killed Enzo the Baker, Stagno, right? He was at the light. What was his name? I think Meldish shot him as a retaliation against Mikey Nose, and they shot him. When he went into the police station or they went to his hospital bed, whatever the situation was, he identified himself as a made Bonanno member. The OC squad in New York did not have a jacket on him, and I believe the feds didn't. So when the feds were like, wait a second, you were made, we don't even have you on the chart. It kind of opened up that the Bonannos might have more head count than they do. So then in terms of Mike Mancuso, I mean, I'm interested to see what his next move is about the funeral. You got to hit back. You cannot have two capos and a made guy get beat up like that publicly. Now you made the
what's your
I'm sorry, you can't. If you're worried about law enforcement and worry about going away, then you shouldn't be boss, and it shouldn't be Cosa Nostra. There still needs to be an element of fear. You remove the element of fear, Cosa Nostra.
What's your opinion about that weight thing?
Stupid move. Joe C was shelved, allegedly, because of the rotating conciliar defense, which was brilliant, by the way. That was a brilliant defense strategy. But people allocated in the past. Tony Pep allocated, which you never thought would happen. Danny Marino allocated. Listen, man, it's 2022. You know what I mean? Like, the mafia exists. So I thought the rotating concierge strategy was brilliant on Josie's part. But he was shelved, which means, hey, I'm shelved. I could do what I want. It was his father-in-law. And I understand the senior Grimaldi and the junior Grimaldi were shelved, according to my sources. So these are all shelf guys hanging out. So you can't shelf me and then tell me what to do. I think Joe C is now going to be able to go to other families, or if there still is a commission, transfer another family and then hit back at Mancuso. That's what I can see happening.
Check this out. Take this with a punch of salt.
Yeah.
Take this with a punch of salt.
Yeah, shoot.
The old man was not on the shelf, man. Take this with a this. I talked to you. We talk offline. I got a lot of sources, and sometimes they conflict. No. Take this with a punch of salt.
Christopher, how are you, sir?
The old man.
I get it.
Listen.
And listen. And the other part is, you feel like you hear a lot now, right? Oh, that guy shouldn't have got made because that was so and so's son. And first of all, nepotism in the mob, like everywhere else, is prevalent. So the bottom line is that's number one. Number two, what people really need to understand about Cosa Nostra, and this happens in Italy a lot. And I'm not going to say anything about Salvarina. You can read between the lines. But the big bosses, even if their sons weren't cut out for it, I'm not saying Salva wasn't, but if their sons weren't cut out for it, they made them for two reasons. Number one, to protect them so they can't be touched. Number two, to protect their inheritance and their legacy. Because if you don't think that if I'm a son of a mobster and my old man dies or my uncle dies, you don't think they're coming for me, you don't think they're coming for my book, I bet you the experience of Bill Cotolo is dramatically different if he was a made guy. For him and for how he was afterwards. Yeah. And that's what people got to understand, how true Cosa Nostra is. I haven't had Mikey's scars on yet. I'm hoping to have him on soon.
Yeah.
And that's one of the discussions I want to have. Now, if you're a street guy and you got your button, or you're an associate and you're waiting to get made because you're earning money hand over fist, of course you're pissed. But nepotism is there. And number two, it is about lineage and bloodline. Yeah. That's what Cosa Nostra is about. You know what I'm saying?
But as far as like that situation, not to get too deep into it, but the old man, rest in peace, was not on the shelf. Put two and two together.
No,
listen.
listen.
Listen. You could disagree with it, but
well, no, I'm gonna tell you why I don't think he was shelved. Okay, major earner, right, and a lot of it legitimate, but a major earner. Okay, you're trying to tell me in 2022, when the 80-year-old man shows up at $5K a week, you're turning it down? So I think for that reason, I think he was not on the shelf. Listen, remember, people give out disinformation too, right?
Of course, but listen,
you know
2 + 2 = 4, bro. No disrespect to no's or nothing like that, but
yeah,
just facts, bro.
Tori Bonanno, I saw Adrian interviewed him. I thought that was interesting. It was Joe Bonanno's grandson. I get mixed on second, 2 generations away. Now, Salvarina, I did Pablo's wife. I believe in doing the first of kin. I want to learn directly about the person. The grandson, I'm interested in. I am, but I'm not like uber interested. But I would like to see how the legacy made. If he was open with me, did you inherit money? Did you inherit businesses? Like, how did you like? I'm really big on like the exit strategy of things and how things end up. So I might want to have Tori Bonanno on just to talk about how he ended up. You know what I mean? That might be a good idea. Do you think I'd be a good mafia boss? I would be a terrible mafia boss. I'm scared of my own shadow. And that's the truth. Christopher, is that the case? The FBI definitely saw who planted. Yeah, of course they know.